I will now convene this special meeting of the Board of Lane County Commissioners for Friday, March 29th, 2024. Special meetings are occasionally called only to address a single item. We will not have public comment at the top of this meeting, but I will check with our Assistant County Administrator, Greg Rickoff, to see if there are any adjustments to the agenda for this special meeting this morning.
Good morning, Chair Trieger and Commissioners. There are no adjustments to the agenda.
And to the Commissioners, any requests to adjust anything on the agenda for this special one-item meeting? Seeing none, thank you everyone for being here on short notice. We are here to discuss two orders relating to time-sensitive matters that have been brought to our attention by staff. So with that, I will turn it over to our Operations Director, Lauren Blythe, and Stephen Teal, our Assistant County Counsel, to walk us through the items. Good morning and thank you.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Oh, actually, I'm going to pass it over to Steve Teal.
Okay,
ahead,
great.
Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Blythe, and good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. Yes, as described in the two memos, the agenda cover memos that were provided to the Commissioners, we're dealing with two separate efforts or initiatives to form rural fire districts that require a bit of correction on their legal descriptions in order to ultimately to allow them to assess taxes beginning in July of this year. In the case of the Pleasant Hill Goshen Rural Fire District, that was already approved by voters back in November, which included on the ballot a more general description along with just a general description with that ballot. Subsequent to that, the board, per statute, adopted or accepted an order in December that included a more detailed legal description. That legal description was subsequently submitted to the Department of Revenue in the effort to allow the Pleasant Hill Goshen Fire District to begin assessing those taxes. There were some errors and defects in that legal description that were discovered during that process or during those weeks-long back and forth with the Department of Revenue that ultimately caused the Department of Revenue to reject or not approve the request to allow Pleasant Hill Goshen to tax. There were technical issues with that description, is my understanding, that in some cases, for example, what should have been a north direction was marked as a south direction, for example, and led to a description that would not create a feasible, workable boundary and map. And so in order to allow Pleasant Hill Goshen to begin taxing by July 1st, that needs to be corrected and approved by the Department of Revenue by March 31st, which of course is coming up this weekend. We have assurances from the Department of Revenue that the corrected, amended legal description that is now attached to today's order does meet the technical specifications required by the Department of Revenue. However, the the description that's provided to the Department of Revenue must be one that matches what has been approved by the board, and hence the order and description today that you're considering on that item. The Row River situation is similar but somewhat different in that rural fire protection district is on the ballot for May, so has not yet been approved by the voters. However, organizers of that district also would like to begin assessing taxes July 1st in order to fund their operation. They've sought something of a pre-approval or gone through the process with Department of Revenue earlier in the process in order to make that happen. However, the description provided there, again, is defective and will not create the feasible map or description that is required. Once again, Department of Revenue has assured us that the updated or revised legal description that's been provided to them, again, meets technical requirements and will, as long as it matches a board order, which is what we're discussing today, that it will likely, my understanding is, receive Department of Revenue their approval. I want to backtrack just one bit because I think I misspoke a bit because these two are a bit overlapping. So in regard to Pleasant Hill Goshen, the defect there in that map, I want to clarify, was that the map was drawn with some, it ultimately cut off some tax lots. There was some imprecision in the boundaries of that legal description, so that you had some 100+ tax lots that were bisected. So some of the lot would be within the district and some would have been without. It would have made for significant workload for county's assessment and taxation office to try to untangle that web. And then going forward would raise a real serious risk of confusion among taxpayers, folks who have one of those tax lots that is partially within and partially outside of that boundary. Yes, Commissioner Farr.
Oh, thank you. It can wait until the end of your presentation. It's just a general question, Steve, please.
Yeah. I'll manage a queue, so if folks want to just do the raised hand, I'll be happy to do that. Thank you.
Will do, Chair. And I think with that, I will end my presentation and simply offer myself up for questions along with Mr. Blight.
Great. Thank you. And thanks to the team in County Counsel's office for responding so quickly and putting this together. I know we're on, this is timely and we need to take action today. If these are to move forward at all, it has to happen today. So thank you for that. Commissioner Farr.
Thank you, Chair Trieger, and thank you for the presentation. Just a general question that you may not have an answer to right now, but it's one that kind of percolates when you say that the legal tax lots were bisected in some cases regarding the boundaries. I am wondering how that corresponds to what are actual legal tax lots in our planning division, not in the Department of Revenue, but the planning division, to see, when people want to build on property, for instance, we quite often find that lot lines are questioned. So I wonder how those two overlap with the actual legal tax lots that are on file with the Revenue Department. Well, a question I would be shocked if you have any form of an answer to that one. So thank you.
I don't, but I will give Mr. Blythe an opportunity to respond. I don't know if he has a.
And I see Rachel Searslove is on. I wasn't sure if she may be able to respond. Thank you.
I'd be happy to respond to that. Good morning, commissioners and Chair Trieger. The fire district boundary won't have any impact on the actual boundaries of a tax lot. So when we're looking at properties and mapped tax lots, those remain as they are described. And this fire district boundary is essentially an overlay on that tax lot. So the impact that could possibly result from having the tax lot bisected by the district boundary is that a portion of a property may be in the fire district while another portion of the property might be outside of it.
And thank you, Ms. Searslove. I understand that doesn't fully get to my question. And my question is that if the Department of Revenue has a particular set of tax lots, how does it correspond to our legal lot lines when we look to develop for instance, residential outside of the urban growth boundaries? A little bit different of the question that you answered. I really expect, because once again, we quite often find that when people are building, there are old lot lines, overlapping lot lines, etc. And I'm curious at some point if you can see what the Department of Revenue actually has on record and how that corresponds to when people are trying to build, for instance, a new home on property outside of the urban growth boundaries.
And Commissioner Farr, I'm not. If this is this a question, because we called a special meeting, we do need to be cautious that we are discussing things strictly as they relate to the orders in front of us. So if that's and I may not be following your question either. So if that is so, and you want to pursue this line of questioning, please let me know. And if not, maybe note to self to bring back your question or ask your question of staff through email another time.
I asked the question because I believe it is pertinent to the discussion that we're having, but I don't need an answer at this point in time because I think it's a very complicated answer. So
great. Thank you. Anybody else? I know we have some staff on online, but not on camera. I will also note, I know Commissioner Buck is having some internet challenges, so is occasionally going camera off, but is still participating in the meeting and with us. Is there anyone else from staff that wants to provide any information we might need before we move forward or any concluding remarks from County Counsel's office? Seeing up, Mr. Blythe, thank you.
Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. I just wanted to chime in and make a few comments regarding this process for the Lane County staff that's been involved in this. It's been a combination of both County Council, Assessment and Taxation, the County Clerk's Office, as well as Land Management and Public Works. We've had the pleasure of working with and partnering with both fire districts and their petitioners, as well as LCOG, and then more recently with Department of Revenue on this fairly complex process. And I just kind of wanted to show some appreciation for the effort that staff has put into this, as well as the kind of persistence we've seen from the fire districts. We all know this is work like this is critical to improving and enhancing the fire protection we have in our rural areas. And although at times it's been a little bit bumpy, but feel like we are in a position to be successful in getting this move forward with the accurate boundary descriptions for each fire district. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And I do see we do have someone from our Assessment and Taxation Department, Danny Urbatska, on the line. I saw a hand go up and down again, so I just want to double check with A&T before moving on. If there is something that they want to provide to us, now would be a great time.
It was, good morning. It was in relation to Commissioner Farr's question. So I can provide that information via email.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. Then we have before us, first in front of us is Order 24-03-29-01 in the matter of clarifying the boundaries of the proposed Row River Rural Fire Protection District. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Chair. I'd like to make a motion to move to approve the order clarifying the boundaries of the Row River Rural Fire Protection District as per Board Order 24-03-29-01.
Thank you. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Buck. It's been moved by Vice Chair and seconded by Commissioner Buck. Is there any discussion to the motion? Seeing none, so I will just comment again for anyone in the public watching. This was a special meeting called to make some needed clarifications and administrative corrections to items that this board has thoroughly discussed and vetted and worked on for quite some time to allow these special districts to move forward. So again, appreciation. And what we have before us is a motion and a second to approve Order 24-03-29-01. We'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify verbally with an aye, as well as your physical or hand raise in the Zoom function, just to be sure we capture, because I know folks are having some challenges. I am seeing 4 ayes, so the motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Seneca absent, excused. Thank you, everyone. And now, if there's nothing else from staff on the other order, before we move forward, I will ask then, is there a motion to approve Order 24-03-29-02?
Yes, Chair. I move to approve the order clarifying the boundaries of the Pleasant Hill Goshen Rural Fire Protection District as per Board Order 24-03-29-01.
Is there a second?
I'll second again.
Thank you. It's been moved by Vice Chair, seconded by Commissioner Buck to approve the order. All those in favor signify with a verbal and visual aye.
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 Thank you. Motion carries 4-0 with Commissioner Seneca absent, excused, and I will just for the record restate, sorry, a little rusty on the virtual meeting protocols, but for the record is required to state in full. We have passed with a 4-0 vote, Order 24-03-29-01 in the matter of clarifying the boundaries of the proposed Row River Rural Fire Protection District, and Order 24-03-29-02 in the matter of clarifying the boundaries of the Pleasant Hill Goshen Rural Fire Protection District. That is everything on our agenda. Is there any other business before we adjourn for the day? Seeing none, I will just again offer my appreciation. I know this was a real scramble for several folks across different departments in the organization, but particularly appreciation to our lead legal counsel, Erin Pettigrew, and her team, particularly Mr. Thiel, who's with us this morning. Thank you all. We will adjourn until our regular meeting next scheduled for Tuesday, 9 a.m., April 2nd, which will also be a virtual meeting. Thank you, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Stephen. Au revoir.